Absolute Carnage issue 5 sees a recently incarcerated Cletus tell his new cellmate how he is going to die, comparing himself to a snake and his cellmate as a mouse. Cellmate is Eddie Brock, who says that he's having the bottom bunk so he can keep an eye on Cletus. Cletus knows all about Eddie Brock and how they are very similar, but Eddie says that he doesn't murder innocents and isn't insane like Cassidy is. Cletus says that they could be friends and he knows they have a bright and beautiful future together. In the present, Venom and Carnage fight one another through buildings as Carnage asks if he can hear Null, since he is almost there. Eddie can sense the hives after absorbing all of the codices and can hear them all screaming at once as Carnage smashes him through another building, telling Eddie that he can see through the eyes of his whole horde, and he sees all of the heroes falling and drowning in red, suffocating in his wake. Carnage knows that if he kills Venom, he will be able to wake Null and grind the world into a red mist. And why does Venom fight him, since together they could rule? Venom tells him to shut up since he doesn't care about any symbiote god, and all he cares about is taking his symbiote back and putting Cletus back in his grave forever. Cloak and Dagger arrive with a few friends to help out the beaten heroes as Spider-Man beats down Norman, but soon falls unconscious himself after telling Dylan and Normie that they are safe. Carnage still thinks Venom will lose, and will even lose his little boy. Carnage lets go of Norman and goes after Dylan and Normie, but before the villain can murder the child, Dylan unleashes his power on it, blowing up the symbiote in a bloody mess. Dylan has no idea what happened and soon passes out in Normie's arms. Venom and Carnage's battle smashes through the roof as Carnage reforms, crawling towards Dylan. Venom wraps himself around the villain as Carnage grabs the kids, saying that he will kill the boy and take his codex, and maybe that will be enough to wake his god. But also, if Venom kills Carnage and takes back the symbiote, he will complete the circle and reconnect the hive and wake up Null anyway. Eddie knows this is what Carnage wanted all along, as the villain gloats over his victory, saying either he kills Dylan or Eddie kills the world. Eddie says fuck the world, making a sword out of the symbiote and ripping Carnage apart with it, killing Cletus. Venom wants to know what Eddie has done as the hive is complete and the symbiote homeworld explodes open, awakening Null, who gathers the millions of symbiotes and rides his dragon through the galaxy. Spider-Man reawakens, asking if they won, and Eddie tells him that they did as Venom asks Eddie to talk to him, but he doesn't. Peter wants to know where Norman is, but Eddie says that it sounds like a job for Spider-Man to go and find him. As Peter says that he will check on everyone else beforehand, Eddie hugs him, thanking him for everything and telling him he owes him. Peter tells him to take care of Dylan as he leaves. Eddie goes and sits with Dylan, who after a long moment asks what Eddie meant about him being his son. Absolute Carnage issue 5 was a fantastic ending to what I think it's safe to call Act 1 of Donny Cates' symbiote epic. I love the ultimatum Carnage gave Eddie and how it truly is his fault now that Carnage is loose in the galaxy, all because he was just protecting his son. The part at the beginning detailing the first meet of Eddie and Cletus was really great as well, and how they always were seen as enemies is really interesting. I'm really excited to see where that goes now that there is a super god just running around the galaxy, and what that will cause for many worlds in said galaxy now that there is millions of symbiotes just infesting the place. I'm also interested to see Eddie having to deal with Dylan knowing that he is his son. That could be pretty hilarious, and that last page was really hilarious, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing that in the pages of Venom. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.